Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. This is Genix with GenixArt. So, I'm about to do a couple of things. Um, I'm actually getting ready to upload a video actually. So, I hope you guys don't mind. I'm just gonna you know, open up my browser and all that shit. So, you know, once I get this done, once I get this done, I'll get to I will get um, to doing my little stuff. And I hope you guys don't mind me doing this. Oh shoot. And then I gotta rename the thing. Shit. Actually guys, oh my gosh. I don't want to say I'm unorganized right now, but I wanted to just record the episode real quickly. So I'm trying to do it, not every single day, but whenever I get the chance, I'm trying to get my episodes in, and honestly, I really do recommend it. It's, just, go ahead and if you're trying to get yourself out there, just try to just post every single freaking day. I mean, I think that would be dope. There we go. And I'm gonna worry about this description later. GenixArt, Diaries, episode 16. I think it's 16. Yeah, I think let's see. Ah, give me a moment. It should be 16. Shit. Yeah, 15. And it's even showing on my little phone here, that I already have a draft going, and that's kind of cool. Alright, so enough of that. So this is what I was drawing in terms of digital art, but we're not going to really be focusing on her. But I want to just show you my little volcano goddess right here. Swear to God, she's fucking amazing. I like the energy of I like the energy of this drawing. It's just it's giving power. It's giving power. Also, news-wise, apparently Chattanooga went through it. So, last night, and I don't know when you're gonna actually see this video. Whoever's seeing this, but send positive prayers and positive vibes because Chattanooga's near Nashville and about 2 hours, and I have friends there, and I'm in the middle of checking on them right now, making sure everything's good, but I'm confident my people are good, hopefully. But it's just apparently there's been some crazy ish there, and I don't want to say the D word, but unfortunately there were some people that were unalived in Chattanooga, so may their souls rest in peace. Crazy weather shit, right? Crazy weather shit. And I'm actually very much into the whole conspiracy world, right? I listening to conspiracy sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes I'm in the mood to listen to them, and then sometimes I'm okay, this is kind of getting a little bit annoying. I'm gonna listen to something else. That's just how my brain sort of works, right? Let's see, transform, reflect, there we go. And I'm feeling good. I'm honestly feeling good today. How is everyone feeling today? I just want to give y'all that check in. of my mental of myself, right? I just want to make sure I'm just saying like, look, I'm good, you know, I'm emotionally sound, all that stuff. Um, I am very thankful to be breathing, all that stuff, and yeah. Sometimes I gotta tell myself, even though like I think I was emotionally charged this morning, um, you know, and like I said, I generally am like kind of a peaceful person, but I think like the last episode, which I think was yesterday, I was talking about like I was talking about something that kind of bled into today, as I was waking up, and it was just kind of like fake friends, fake friendships, and stuff like that, and it's just like I've been kind of like, just kind of seeing, you know, just still seeing like what I need to see from the universe, right? Like, it's like, oh, okay, this person wasn't, this person just kind of had this illusion of them being a good friend, but they really weren't this good friend, you know. And then of course, just like some of the people that I've met over high school, and I'm just like, I don't know, like it's great to have like these acquaintances from high school, right? But I'm kind of like, oh my goodness, guys, kind of, y'all are looking at my social media, but y'all aren't really like interacting with my social media, you know. So it's just weird. I just think people are just really weird, right? Like, and I guess like it's more on that social media side, but even like outside social media, people are just weird. Put in the comments, how do you guys feel about, just people in general? And I don't want to like let this be an ongoing like theme, but it's just so interesting just to see like, people for who they are, but we are kind of living in the time of like, I hate to say it like this, but we are kind of living in this time of revelation where things are being unveiled, and we're kind of seeing like, you know some people's interactions are very superficial, when you're interacting with them. If you're actually like very observant, you kind of see through the illusions, right? And then you kind of see like the NPCs of the world, and that's something very scary, to like just see the NPCs of this world. And my God, I think I've been surrounded by NPCs a good majority of my life. Um, well, I wouldn't say a good majority of my life. I feel like I had NPCs around me, which I don't think NPCs are really, the most valuable. Uh, I mean, they're valuable. But it's just like they're just people that kind of just fill space, and that's what I mean by NPCs. And when I say NPCs, like think those non-playable characters that you just see. They're just kind of like just there. Or even if you look at the Matrix, right? You have like the people that are just walking around, right? You don't know if they actually have a soul or not, or they're really actually capable of critical thinking. Um, are these people or creatures of habit? You know, and I'm not gonna lie, it's an interesting concept, and I feel as if like, I'm kind of seeing like, oh, this person's authentic, but then, oh wait, no, this person is kind of an NPC. They're just following a script, this unconscious script. But anywho, guys, I know this is like maybe some crazy talk, but basically what I'm saying is, there are just some people that just are there, and they're just there to fill space, you know, and really sometimes if you put emotional value into that, you know, it's kind of like, oh shit, you're kind of falling into the trap of, you know, um, oh my gosh, what trap are you falling into? Sorry guys, I'm like kind of like in between thought and wanting to make sure that this looks good. Um, I'm trying to do better by like not really putting a lot of emotional weight to like NPC activity, if that makes sense. Like if I know somebody like isn't really like there, they're just kind of a pawn or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's like I can like share with them like my creative insights or thoughts, but then they don't have real value in it. It's just, or they don't find value in it, or the things that I'm trying to say, or they may think I'm just, oh, whatever. I don't really understand what you're saying. I try not to put too much emotional value in being misunderstood. I hope that makes more sense. Because some people just, if they exhibit NPC behavior, right, base desires, stuff like that, and they can't really understand, like, elevated, shit. Really? Guys, this is one of those things that I hate about Windows 11. It's fucked up my computer a little bit, so anywho that was just random. I don't know if anybody just saw that and was like, what is he talking about? Basically with Windows 11, since I did the update, I do not like how my computer sometimes just will bring up windows and I can't really close them, and then I have to do some really weird like thing, like, I have to click on settings, and then the settings things will pop up, and then that screen will just, the screen will disappear. Sometimes, I don't know, it's just so weird. I hate how Microsoft will just tell us to do certain things, and then they provide us whatever the fuck that they're offering, and it sucks. So Microsoft, do better. But I also will say this, like, I also am very appreciative that I'm actually able to, like, use a computer. Okay, I'm done. Back to what I was saying. Like, I try not to put any emotional weight to, I try not to put too much emotional weight on people that just don't really get me, and trust me, there's a lot of people that I've met in my life that, they just kind of are just onlookers to the things that I'm doing, probably don't really get what I'm actually doing, or the art, or actually even understanding any of it. Like, they probably think, oh, it's just kind of weird, but they'll still look, and that's something I will never kind of understand. It's like, why are y'all just looking but not really interacting? It's kind of a weird thing, and I'm not gonna lie, it's like, if you're not gonna interact personally, and this is just me being real, and I don't know if anybody actually does see this, any NPCs that are on my social media forums, and they basically do this, they just look but they don't really interact, even when I'm like doing like commissions open posts, but then they don't really interact. And I know I may sound like kind of like an asshole, but I don't care. But it's like, if I post something like commissions open and you have an idea, like, right? Like, you have an idea, I don't know, maybe, and you're looking at the stuff that I'm doing, I don't know, maybe don't be shy and actually interact with the artist, right? Like, like, do not feel afraid to reach out to an artist. If you like their work or whatever, then message them and be like, hey, I really like your work, can I, is there any way to support you, because that's the bigger thing, is like, I hate how people can look at other people's stuff And this is somebody that I've been talking to, that's also kind of like starting her artistic journey. Is like, just the amount of people that will just stare, but the silence is very deafening. It's like they see what you're doing, but then they don't really, really, really like interact with whatever it is that you're doing. Whether it's like, oh, I'm making this product. I mean, you'll know who your real supporters are, and who your real friends are at that point. Just go and be an entrepreneur. If you wanna know who your real friends are, start creating stuff. Start creating art. Just start doing something. Go and be a musician. Go and start singing. Like, trust me. Start doing that. And you'll see like how either indifferent some people are, or how they'll think, oh, that's kind of stupid. And I'm not gonna lie, I get rid of people that just kind of are very much indifferent to the art that I'm making. I sometimes do. I sometimes get rid of them. If I notice that they don't really, they're just looking and they're not really interacting, but I've been supporting their work, right? Sharing their stuff. But then if they're not doing the same for me and they're just looking at the stuff that I'm doing, I'm going to get rid of you. You don't deserve my support, and you don't deserve my attention. And in this world, attention is energy. I mean, it's, come on now. Like, it's just so crazy to me. Like, to know that there are people out there that will just look at what you're doing, but then not support it. I'm not saying like, I'm owed support. But if we are really to advance as a civilization, shouldn't we be kind of like supportive of the communities? I'm just saying. And again, I'm just like, I didn't expect myself to be talking this much, so I apologize. But it just feels like, and I don't know if this is what the tech overlords want, but it feels like this is just what's happening right now, whether we like it or not. It just feels like we're all just kind of creating our own echo chambers at this point, Weird shit, like, we're only creating our own echo chambers. And, the people that do get you, well, that's your community, which I am all about. I'm trying to build my own community, absolutely. Because, you quite literally have to, create your own community as an artist. Because it is hard. It's hard to do the art. And knowing that, knowing that a good majority of the audience may or may not really care. And I'm going to say this, like, I've been doing this for this long. I still have not given up. I'm not going to give up. I like what I do. I like the art that I make. So I really don't care about the validation of other people. I just like to create. That's it. But I can't help but, feel like, I have this gift of creation, and I'm not trying to say like, people should like, look at what I'm doing or whatever. But I just think like, a lot of artists are very much overlooked. And if you look at AI, and even I was talking about this in my last video, and it was just like, just seeing like how people will make AI art, post it, and and be like, oh my goodness, like, I made this thing using a computer, and but did not actually take the time to find the artist to do the thing for you. Like, I mean, if you really want to see the value of art, I mean, like, just look at how people are going for fast food art. It's a little bit crazy to me. You know, an artist literally, if you have an idea in your head, an artist can literally execute better than AI. I'm sorry. They will execute it better than AI, and that art piece will have more personality because a piece of the artist's soul went into that art piece. So, you know, it's just like, it's just very apparent, like, some people just don't really care about art in general because of just, you know, with the proliferation of AI. They like the pretty images that AI gives, but it's fast food. And unfortunately, like, I feel like, oh gosh, I feel like, you know, it just feels like, you know, in order to grab people's attention, you have to cheapen what you create or whatever, or make it more digestible. Which, I mean, again, that's kind of what you have to do in graphic design, because one thing about graphic design is, oh my gosh, one thing about graphic design is the fact that, there we go. One thing about graphic design, you know, if you do a lot of and this is something I've noticed, and my teacher David, I think David. Okay, the teacher is named David. His last name was a little bit much, but I remember we were talking, and he was saying, like, you know, he was describing to me, or describing to class, you know, the difference between, like, what is it? Raster art, vector art, and of course I know the difference, right? This is vector art. This is raster art. Raster art, right here, and vector art, right? This is more mathematical. The other one, raster, is more intuitive. With raster, I mean, you can make it simplistic, but usually raster is like, you know, the digital paintings, you know, you get like with like, let's see, the artwork that you see on, you know, those fantasy board games, you know, it's very painted, dragons, knights, you know, everything's all shiny and great. Yeah. And then you got raster art, but, like, really, in order for people to digest a design piece, it shouldn't be as complex, and raster art has a tendency to be very complex, you know, because, you know, again, it makes people think, right? Again, it makes people think, like, you know, those really complicated raster art pieces make people think, you know? So, like I said, you know, people are very much attracted to simplicity. So that's basically what that means, because it's more digestible, it's more simplistic. Again, think about the cheapening of, like, the cartoons that we're seeing right now. One example, and I hate to say it, but let's see. And I think you'll see what I mean. Like, one recent example is Totally Spies. If you know what I'm talking about. Like, look at how the animation changed throughout the years. Like, it was, you know, the animation was really good. Now it's kind of like, what the heck's going on? You know, but I mean, again, like, that's the times, you know, times of change, right? So I'm not really even upset by you know, the art, you know, changes. In fact, you know, I do believe in changing the art style from time to time, especially if it's, like, being rebooted after, like, 10, 15 years, you know. But some people didn't like the new art style, but again, you know, the art style is that way because, well, it's easier, it's more digestible, you know. But some people, you know, they don't like changes like that, and that's fine too. But, you know, like I said, it's like, you know, art is kind of being cheapened at the moment. You know, it's being cheapened out of necessity, but also being cheapened because people's attention spans are shit. I mean, look at the art pieces that we had back in the olden days. Like, look at the art pieces that we have back in the olden days. The classical romanticism, you know, they were complicated. They were complex. You know, now it's, you know, we have bananas, I don't know, taped onto a wall, and that's art. And I'm not gonna lie, there are even people that actually are like, oh, we don't have a problem with that. I'm like, what? Are you serious? So, you know, there's a lot of problems with that. There's a lot of problems with society, and that's one of the things where I'm just like kind of a little bit annoyed with. It's like you see talent, right? But then we're not gonna acknowledge the talent. You know, we're gonna like project our, silence, but really is it silence, or is it just the fact that you're just upset that, somebody was able to create the thing? Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm getting like a little bit bitter. But that's the point of these videos. The point of these videos is to really just kind of just, get this energy out. Maybe spark conversation. I don't know. Maybe, am I seeking validation? I don't know. Who knows? I think every artist is seeking validation. I just think it's like, it would be nice to actually, again, I talk about community. It'd be nice to have community, right? Because that's energizing. I mean, I can do this without a crowd, but like I said, like having some people that are into your art, like, and I have people that are into the art that I'm making, but of course, like attention, people's attention is very much divided right now. Like think about the fact there's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, like people's attention is like all over the place, right? So it's just kind of like, OMG. I was just thinking about this like the other day. Like that was the biggest revelation that I had yesterday, was the fact that like there's just so many applications out there that it's hard to really get people's attention. Like it's getting harder now to get people's attention and to keep people's attention. So I mean, I understand that aspect of social media, so I'm not ignorant of that. But even then, I'm still able to support my artistic friends. I'm still able to do that. I'm still able to repost their work whenever I can. I'm still able to do that, And I just think like it's kind of sad that like people acknowledge the fact that you're talented, and I've had people acknowledge the fact that I'm talented, but no likes from the person, no comments from the person, and I will say this, like this is an example that I'm pulling from, and I'll just give more details. I remember like years ago, like I was on Facebook, and I was saying happy birthday to some people. I was like, okay. And then when I say happy birthday to this person, and people know what you do on social media. They may not just say anything or acknowledge it. But, and I'm not saying like people should, acknowledge what you do. In fact, I like secrecy. Okay, actually, yeah, that looks a little bit better. So I like the secrecy. I like my mystique. I sometimes like my mystery. But this thing kind of does irritate me a little bit. I remember like I was saying to somebody, "Hey, happy birthday," and this was somebody like I knew, and they basically came back and said, "Oh, thank you so much," and they were like, "Oh, and I also see your art, really cool art," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you." It would have been nice if you would have like given me some likes. Like, and I know that's kind of like a fucked up thought to have, but I'm just being honest. It's just like, damn, like where's the support? And sometimes I think to myself, like, do I want to just start over social media? Like, do I want to start over my Facebook? Do I want to like start over like, from start? I mean, from Fresh, like, should I just do that? But then I'm like, well, I don't want to get rid of whatever audience that I have. So I guess that's where I'm at right now. Is just, I don't want to be limited to like one account, because I feel like, unfortunately, I may have like kind of like not gotten a good. Well, I will say I have a good community of people. You know, I do know that, but it's like I want to attract more of those people, more of the people that are kind of into the same stuff that I'm into, or actually do like the work that I'm doing. Like, that's what I want, and I think every artist wants that. I think every artist wants that, but then every artist has to kind of go through this sort of period in their life where they have to look at, like who's around them, and who's actually really into the art, who's really liking their art. And like, again, some people may like it, but for me, I kind of handle like, fantasy themed pieces. I just do what I want, and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't know, it's just like, it just really depends. It depends on, I guess, location. It depends on, I don't know, guys. I mean, I have people that do like the work that I do, so I'm grateful for I'm grateful for my little support network, and they know who they are. Like, I'm not like dismissing that I don't have a support network that actually likes the art. And I guess it's just more so I'm seeking more authenticity, like authenticity with myself, and authenticity of like whatever group or whatever community I'm trying to build. Like, I'm looking for something like that. Like, if you like the art that I do, good, like, great. But if you don't really care about the art that I do, and you're just like kind of just staring like a deer in headlights, I really don't know what value you're getting from just looking at my stuff and not really, interacting. That's really more so where I'm at right now. And I just feel like we're kind of like in this zombie age of, just people's attention spans. It really does feel like people are just zombies now. I'm just like, do you not have a soul, sir? I mean, I get like I go on I get that I go and do the doom scrolling on TikTok, but I'm at least like trying to save people's videos, reposting people's videos, people's art stuff. I'm at least like doing what I'm supposed to do as somebody that's consuming the social media, like reposting. Like, I'm gonna repost somebody's work or somebody's video on TikTok. Like, that's just what I'm gonna do. If I see something, I'm gonna, and I like it, I'm going to like it and comment on it and support it. I've always done that. I just think it's so weird that people are not willing to do that same thing. Well, I do have people that do that do like the reposting and all that stuff, like, and also include me in their artistic endeavors. But it's just kind of like weird to have, I don't know, like, let's just say 800 followers, but then only getting like 5 interactions. Such weird energy. But I try not to let that shit get to me a lot. But this is one of those days where I'm allowing that energy to kind of come up so I can like digest it, and I don't know, just bring it to the surface, bring it to the consciousness, bring it to the ether. That's actually, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but just to bring it to consciousness, because again, I think a lot of artists are probably feeling the same way. I know they are. But like I said, Actually, hold that thought. I'm actually looking at the time. So I'm gonna have to close this out. And again, I did not mean to start talking for like 30 minutes straight, but I think this is where I'm at right now. I was like, oh, I don't feel like doing a video. But then I was like, well, I kind of have some feelings that I want to express and talk out into the internet. And honestly, I'm okay with this going out into the ethers because, you know, I've expressed these feelings before and I don't mind it being in video form. And I don't know, maybe I'll think of it as some way of me communicating to this universe like, hey, I'm looking for that authentic community that really does like the things that I do, you know. So in a way, this is kind of like just me kind of like sending a signal out to the universe that, hey, I'm ready to receive like uh, my community of people that do like, you know, kind of like punk stuff, that like metal, you know, shit. I mean, I like that band called Spirit Box. Like, I can't wait to go. I really would love to go to their concert. That's happening very soon. You know, shoot, I want to talk to people that actually like Evanescence and stuff like that. You know, like, where are those people? I'm trying to connect with the people that like anime, you know, because like I want to do some anime art, you know. So I mean, that's where I'm at right now. Like, I'm just like looking for my people, and I think that's what a lot of people are looking for as well. They're looking for their people, and it's hard. It's hard out there, especially, you know, when you're trying to do your own thing. And I know how support can just be this really rare thing, right? But when you got support, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's one of the best things ever. But like I said, support is definitely something that, I mean, every artist is striving for, right? So, I guess for me, it's like what I would like for, you know, just for the people, the NPCs out there in the world, and people that are just like, you know, just walking around and looking at what I'm doing. It's like, you know, I'm only interested in the energy of people that actually like my shit. I don't want the energy of people that are just servitors, or not servitors. I'm sorry. What is that term? It is something that makes so much more sense. Um, oh, monitoring spirits. Like, you know, I just feel like I have too many monitoring spirits that just kind of just look at the things that I'm doing, and, you know, I'm like, okay, like, can y'all just relax for a minute? Can y'all just say something? Y'all are just ghosts at this point. Like, y'all are ghosts, and I don't know if you really want to be in that spot where you're just, you know, just mindlessly scrolling through the internet. Because if you're just mindlessly scrolling and not really getting any type of, you know, value, or you're just looking, I don't know. I mean, what's the difference between that and a zombie? I mean, you're basically kind of like mentally just decaying your own mind if you're just gonna keep looking and looking and looking and not being conscientious of the things that you're consuming, right? I don't know. That's just my take on it. anyways, guys, it's Thursday. Tomorrow's gonna be Friday. You know, and you know, I can't wait for Friday to happen. I may actually play a little bit of that Destiny game. Uh, let's see. There's that Destiny game that I was like, that I've been playing for a bit. Let's see. It's called, the new expansion just came out. It's called Edge of Fate, and it came out a couple weeks ago. But I was like, I didn't feel like paying for the thing. Like, I didn't feel like paying $30 as it came out, and I was like, I'm kind of good. I can wait for the story, but I gotta try and support. I gotta try and support the video game world, the things that I like, because, you know, the world's kind of going crazy and insane. And I like Destiny. I like how it's going. I like what's going on. I'm gonna try and support them. Even though like I'm like trying to just save my little coins. You know, and yeah. What? Anyways, guys. I'm about to get off of here, but what games are y'all playing? What games are y'all playing? I'd like to know. I really would like to know what y'all are playing right now, or shoot, like what art piece are you making? Um, anyways, guys, I'm getting ready to get off of here. I know this was kind of like a really weird video, but it's just like I wanted to get the video out there and I wanted to just get this energy out. Um, let me know if whatever I've said resonated. I hope I did not annoy people. Like, I really hope I did not, just by me ranting, but, you know, this is kind of like a nice little thing for me. It's a nice little outlet, you know. Like, I could just write in my journal. I could do that. And I do. I have like a journal and I just write stuff, but sometimes I just want to express things. And, of course, this is this episode series, and I don't know how long I'm gonna just keep the name, but this is like the GenixArt Diaries series or whatever. So this is episode 16, and this in a way is kind of like my diaries. These episodes are my diaries, because it is just kind of like me just doing stream of consciousness. Not sure if I'm gonna have like revelations every time like I talk or whatever. Not sure if I'm gonna always have like something, profound to say. But this is just strictly just me, myself, and I, and whoever is wanting to, to watch my stuff. Just make sure that you're getting value from whatever I'm saying. Don't just be, and if you're not getting value and you just generally don't care, like, I highly encourage you to be more intentional when it comes to what you're consuming, because I don't know, I just don't think it's a good thing to just be a monitoring spirit, because that's just like you just being a zombie at this point. And I think we have enough zombies. I think we have enough people that just straight up just don't really, that they're just a number on someone's social media. And it's just like, really? You really just want to be a number on someone's social media? You don't want to support the person in what they're trying to do or whatever? Then if you don't want to support the person, then I don't know, I think you should kindly just remove yourself, or I don't know. That may be too intense, but at this point, like, I'd much rather have like three of the closest supporters, three of my closest friends, right? Rather than, 300 strangers or 300 people that just don't really give a damn. I think that's really what it is. And I want authenticity. I want people that actually really care about the art that I'm making, because I am a millennial. This is the things that I'm into, And not only that, I'm also an artist that can create custom work for people. It's just, look at what I'm able to do. It's not rocket science. I can basically do vector art, logos, and digital paintings. Other people can do that. You don't just have to hire me. You can hire another person. Just don't be somebody that's just an onlooker. Just don't be somebody that's an onlooker. Be active, have some thoughts, don't be a zombie, and yeah, just don't be a zombie. Just don't be a zombie, guys. Just, because, shoot, just please don't be a zombie. Anyways, I'm about to close this. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Yeah, I'm about to close this, and yeah, that's literally the only thing I have to say is, like, just don't be a zombie, guys. Have some thoughts. Have some thoughts about like, just be more conscientious of what you're consuming, right? Because I mean, there are people out there that are trying to be entrepreneurs and actually like change their lives, so if you're just going to be a monitoring spirit, like, then are you really actually supporting that person? That's really all I'm saying. Anyways, guys, I'll talk to you later. This is Gino /Genix with GenixArt, and I'll see you guys in the next one.